Welcome back to Good Day, where we love all things fun, local, and positive. Ballet is big in Toledo. So take one ballerina, add a mermaid, toss in a unicorn, and you get Nigel Burgoine's latest book. Good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. You couldn't come without some ballet slippers, right?
It's all here.
Yes.
The shell, the shoes, the book.
Well, and normally when you're here, we're talking about your latest production.
Yeah.
But you're doing something different.
Yes, now I'm writing this book and I'm going into the community. I'm giving talks about when I was a professional dancer traveling the world. But this book is very special to me because my wife and I, Anne-Marie, were on our wedding anniversary in Maui.
Ooh, good for you.
In a condo that Bobby Shields found for us.
Oh,
yeah.
Good morning, Robert, if you're watching
Robert.
this morning, former chief meteorologist, yes.
He went there and said, oh, we've got to go. So I wanted to surprise Anne-Marie, and we went there, and we were walking along the beach, and I thought, what if this beautiful ballerina had a mermaid and a unicorn behind her coming out of the sea, and the whole story came together. There was a gorgeous island across, and I just wrote the whole thing. And the story it's a children's story, but it's basically a ballerina who fears that her parents have gone missing in an air disaster over the jungle of Peru, and she thinks they've gone. But the ballerina, the mermaid, and the unicorn step in and become her friend.
Okay, and they help her out.
Her find her parents.
Okay.
Fabulous
Sounds
adventure.
like a children's book to me. All the imagination, and I can just envision just the creativity and the colors and the vibrancy of that.
For children especially, there's a lot to learn about ballet in the book, about being a professional ballet dancer. There's a lot to learn about mermaids. How do they communicate with every fish and every creature in the sea? Unicorns, how do unicorns communicate with everybody on land and in the air?
So you had to do some research on this.
A lot, a great deal.
Oh, wonderful, though. You know, speaking of ballet and your career, you grew up dancing very young in London, right?
Yes.
And your career has taken you everywhere, including here.
All over the world. It's been fantastic. I was 4 years old when I started dancing, left home when I was 11 to go to the Royal Ballet School. I lived in a royal hunting lodge, and then travelled the world with the London Festival Ballet. And I had 3 dreams: to become a professional dancer, to travel the world, and to live in America. And I did them all.
Check, check,
check, check, check.
That's wonderful.
And all thanks to classical ballet.
Right, and there's so much, as you said, there's a lot to learn about it in the book.
Yeah.
But what do you want people to take away and know about ballet?
Here's one of the special things. I want parents to get this book, and I want them to read it to their children, because nobody ever read me a book when I was younger.
Really?
Yes, all the other kids said, oh, my parents read me this. My parents never did. So this one, I want families to sit down and read the story.
Together?
Yes, exactly.
Great bedtime story, yes?
Exactly, yeah. We had one teacher, and on a Friday afternoon, she would read one chapter of Enid Blyton. And we were all like this. And then she closed the book and said, now, if you behave next week, we'll read the next chapter.
Yes, but that's a good motivation.
We were the best behaved kids in that area. It was marvelous.
It is so important to read to children and for them to develop that love for reading too as young children.
Imagination. Once you've got a book here, your imagination starts to move, you know. And what did I write it on? A book from the dollar store. Okay. That was it, and a pencil.
Easy.
And I sat there, and the whole thing came out. My lovely wife, Anne-Marie, just watched. Wow, what have you done? I said, I don't know, it's just coming out.
It's just happened.
And it's fun. It's going to be fun. It's entertaining.
Well, we know that you've written ballets before, so you have that creative...
Here's that creative side. Yeah. Unfortunately, well, with this, I don't have music, but I was listening to music when I was writing it. So I love listening to classical music when I'm being creative. I love listening to classical music when I'm gardening.
Yeah.
I will put my headphones on and do the raking of the leaves.
Do you start breaking out and dance?
Yeah, really, yeah.
Maybe while you're doing gardening and breaking the leaves as well, raking the leaves.
Exactly.
What would you tell, and I know we're talking about your book today, but what would you tell young families who have youngsters who want to get started in ballet? Maybe what age or where they should take them?
Right. The best thing to do with dance is put on some music and just watch. I know my wife Anne-Marie said her parents would put on like shows from Broadway and things like that, and the music would play and she couldn't stop herself. I was the same. The minute I heard music, my body would not stop. So don't ever force somebody into dance. Just gently watch, oh, what's that music doing to them? And in the book, the ballerina, Mirabelle, her parents saw that in her. They played classical music and they could see her arms moving and her body moving. And so they took her to do classical ballet.
And you could start from there. It is demanding though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
so,
yes.
So be prepared to be committed.
Yep, there's a lot of discipline there and a lot of sacrifice. You know, everybody, oh, come on, let's all go. To me, the worst day was Christmas Day, because the next day, the 26th, we would do 2 shows a day for 6 weeks. Of the Nutcracker at the Royal Festival Hall. And so a chicken bone would go past and I'd sniff it. That would be my Christmas lunch.
And that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
But you have found so much joy in it, and where it has taken you has just been unbelievable.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So now we've got a book, and I know you're working on more.
Yes,
So
the next
can
one
stay
is
tuned
called
for that.
Moonbeam Dancing Ballerinas.
Okay.
It's about a hedgehog, a badger and a fox.
Okay, I sense a theme here.
Oh, yep,
happening.
Yep.
So for right now, people want to get a copy of the Ballerina, the Mermaid, and the Unicorn. Where can they get it?
They can go to Amazon.
Okay.
And get it on Amazon. And if it's a young child and she's part of a dance school and they all get together, just send me an email and I will come and sign the books for them at their dance school. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good. Nigel, congratulations. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Yeah, absolutely.